What's up, and welcome to Fantasy Baseball today on Tuesday, June 23rd. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White and Chris Towers. Today on the show, a big return for Brandon Woodruff. Kyle Bradish looks like he has turned things around. I have 7 burning questions for you guys, most dropped players on CBS from the weekend, and much more. Let's jump in.
I'm thinking I'm back.
I think that's just where we got to start, man. Brandon Woodruff, big old start here, looked incredible in his return. He took a perfect game into the 6th inning at the Reds, where he wound up throwing 6 shutout innings. He did allow a hit eventually, 10 strikeouts to 0 walks, the 10 strikeouts a season high, 10 whiffs on 79 pitches here. Started off kind of scary, only averaged 89.8 miles per hour on his fastball in the first inning. But from innings 2 through 6, he was sitting 92 to 93 miles per hour. The underlying stuff, the whiffs, it doesn't blow you away in this one, but this is just kind of what Brandon Woodruff has done since returning last year. Velocity down, doesn't really seem to matter. He just goes out there and pitches really well whenever he has been on the mound and decently healthy. The last time we saw him, obviously he was going through like a dead arm or whatever was going on there, but overall, it's a 3 ERA on the nose this season. It's a .89 whip. Chris, what'd you see here from Brandon Woodruff in his return?
That velocity just doesn't seem to matter for him. I'm not sure what exactly it is because, people will always do the velocity doesn't matter. Well, that's true to a certain extent. Not everybody needs to throw 98 miles an hour to succeed, but generally speaking, when a pitcher loses velocity, they lose effectiveness. 98 is not the same for everyone. 92 is not the same for everyone. But for a specific pitcher, going from 96 to 92 usually matters a lot. And it just doesn't seem to matter very much for Brandon Woodruff, who had a higher whiff rate on his four-seamer last year when he's sitting 92, or 92.9, I think is what he was last year, than when he was averaging 96 in 2023. Now, in this start, he's down to, 91.5, 91.6? And
Though Frank said from second inning on,
it got better,
higher than that.
But
right?
still not where he used to be. And for the whole start, it was still down. So it's just, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But he's a really great pitcher. And he's able to overcome it. He barely threw the cutter in this one. He barely threw the curveball. In this one, it was like 91% four-seamer, changeup, and sinker, and he was incredible. It's really weird.
Well, I'm less convinced because I don't want to pick up the discussion on Brandon Woodruff from where he left off last year, but where he left off before he went on the IL, where we weren't convinced that velocity wasn't an issue for him. It wasn't last year with the 3 mile per hour drop, in part because he introduced that cutter that was so effective, and he had 11.6 K per 9. Prior to the injury this year, he had lost even more velocity. He had stopped throwing the cutter that much, and he had only 7.5 K per 9. And I think we were definitely concerned that version of Woodruff was going to work. Comes back from the IL. Obviously, this is a dominant start in so many ways. But again, he had even less velocity for the whole start. The average exit velocity off him was like 95 miles per hour, so he gave up lots of hard contact. Terry Francona, after the game, praised him, but this is how he praised Brandon Woodruff. He said he located really, really well. He hadn't been locating on some of his rehab starts, but he certainly did tonight. And so that makes me wonder, okay, gave up hard contact, wasn't using the cutter that was the key for him last year, but still ended up with a lot of strikeouts, still ended up with a good result. Was the fact he was locating really, really well and the acknowledgement that he wasn't locating as well on his rehab starts, does that kind of fill in the puzzle here? That Brandon Woodruff can succeed at this reduced velocity, even without the cutter, but he's got to locate really, really well. And how often is he going to locate as well as he did in this start?
I was going to get to a different but I think we're getting to the same spot, which the but for me is just, I just have no faith that he can stay healthy for any amount of time. I mean, his recovery from that shoulder injury was super rocky last year. If you remember, it was a lot of stops and starts along the way. He had that lat injury. He got 2 months in before suffering a lat injury. Doesn't even make it a month this time, I think. So I'm kind of at the point where I think Brandon Woodruff's just going to be good. I just don't know how long he's going to be good. And I don't think it's going to be long enough that you should view him as someone you have to hold on to in all leagues. So I think we're kind of nearing the same place. And I agree. There are, anytime the answer for why a pitcher is pitching better or worse is not their stuff got better or worse, or their pitch mix changed, but just they are pitching better. That is where it's really hard for us as analysts, because there's not really anything actionable there. You know, like, it's just, is he going to pitch well today, or is he going to pitch poorly today? That's been the thing with Ranger Suarez throughout his career. It's just, does he, and maybe Brandon Woodruff is that kind of pitcher now, where more often than not, I think he's going to be good, but the margin for error might be really slim. But I think even above and beyond that, whether you think he's going to be good or whether you think he's going to be, you know, whether you think this was kind of the best we're going to see from him, and I think it's probably fair to say this is the best start Brandon Woodruff's going to make this season. I still think the end result is, if you have him on your team, this is the perfect time to be trying to sell him.
That's where I was going next with Brandon Woodruff. And look, I think as long as he is healthy, he's probably someone that's going to be in your lineup. Although just yesterday we told people not to use him, and I still think that was the right process. You know, there was a couple of people like, "Oh, you told us not to use Brandon Woodruff."
Hey. I was more open to it. I said no to Shane Bieber, but I said I probably would use Woodruff in a points league.
In a points league. So hedging. But yes, sure. I think the grand scheme was that we were still pretty skeptical here on Brandon Woodruff, and rightfully so, right? It's like the last time we saw him, his fastball was 85 miles per hour, and we didn't have any velocity readings for him throughout his minor league rehab starts. So I think if he strings together a few good starts, like, yeah, it probably does make sense to see what you can get for Brandon Woodruff. And if you can get a healthy top 36 starting pitcher in return, might be something you want to look into. But I'm not, even if he pitches well, I'm not sure that you'll be able to get that in return. But you can try. It's something you can look into.
Truth be told, I started Shane Bieber in a couple leagues too. It's always easy to say no hypothetically, but then when you're going and setting your lineups and you're like, oh man. It's easy to hope for the best case scenario when you're weighing your alternatives.
I actually have Woodruff in 2 leagues and I bench him in both. So,
I started him in, I think 2 also. I don't remember how many leagues I have him in, but however many I had him in.
Scared money don't make money, man.
Yeah,
no money right now. I do want to quickly touch on Kyle Bradish as well, because I mean, he just dominated the Angels. 8 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts here, 13 whiffs on 101 pitches. Velocity was up between 1 and 1.7 miles per hour on all 4 of his pitches. And this is now 2 starts in a row where the slider has looked really good. Mm-hmm. And we talked about that last time out. That has kind of been the missing piece to the puzzle this year, along with command for Kyle Bradish. But in this one, the slider had 9 whiffs, 56% whiff rate, 34% CSW. It was a really, really good pitch for him. And over his last 2 starts now, it's now 15 2/3 innings, 1 run, 21 strikeouts to 3 walks. We saw a stretch earlier in the season where he pitched well, but I feel like this is even a different level of dominance that we didn't see from Kyle Bradish earlier on in the season. So, Scott, can we say it? Can we say it confidently? Is Kyle Bradish back?
I think I'm putting him back in my top 30 after this. And it's not just the results from the last 2 starts, as good as they were. It's the fact that he finally dominated with his slider, something that we have not really seen from him all season. The whiff rate has been down to like 32% this season. The WOBA allowed has been over 400. That pitch has just been a real problem for him, and that's been his best pitch in the past. So the fact that we finally see, I don't know, top 30, I'm looking at it like,
maybe top 40.
I'm doing top 30. Doing it. Scared money don't make money, as the man said.
This is what we wanted to see from Bradish from the beginning. The last two starts. I mean, we were talking about him. I certainly was talking about him as like
top 15 guy.
And like a dark horse Cy Young contender is, I think, how I was putting it. The one reason I'm a little hesitant to say yes, he's back is while he did dominate with the slider in this one for the first time, it was a much harder slider than he was even using last year. It was up 1.7 miles per hour from his season average, 1.7 miles per hour. But already it was up like almost a mile per hour from last year. So is this okay, I can understand why the slider worked this time. He was throwing it freaking hard, like we're not used to seeing from Kyle Bradish. But is that something he can repeat? And is that why the slider was so effective? I mean, it's not like the movement profile changed that much on it. I don't know. That to me is a lingering question. There's a lingering question with Woodruff too. Like, I'm not saying none of what I'm saying here, none of the skepticism I'm expressing for Woodruff or Bradish is definitive. It's just me hand-wringing over whether or not it's sustainable, because I don't know. I have reasons to doubt whether it is in both cases, and that's my reason for Bradish.
Yeah, that's nothing in life is ever certain, and least of all when it comes to pitchers. So yeah. I think you should absolutely be uncertain about everything, and we get yelled at sometimes for expressing uncertainty, but the truth is, these guys go through stretches where they look better than they actually are or worse than they actually are. And I think we've seen a lot of the latter for Bradish. But my thing with him has just been, he's been so good throughout his career. Like really since that 2023 breakthrough, we've never seen Kyle Bradish not be good. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of just, okay, we saw him be good. Cool. I'm back in. And maybe that'll look stupid, but that's just kind of the way I'm treating him.
It may look smart. I mean, it may be. It may be the kinds of things I'm nitpicking over are the sort of things I wouldn't have even known about 10 years ago.
Sure.
You know, like I was doing the same job 10 years ago. I was having to analyze pitchers the same way, and in some ways, it felt. I don't know that I was any less accurate then than I am now. So sometimes I feel like there's this deluge of data that's not really necessary to make the right calls, or at least to make as good of as educated of a guess. Maybe educated is not the right word, but as accurate of a guess, which is all this is, of course, it's guessing.
Yeah, and I think that range that you mentioned, Chris, of moving Kyle Bradish back into your top 30, I mean, we just talked about this last week, is from SP 25 through 40. I mean, it's all pitchers that have upside, but a lot of those guys, most of them have their own warts as well. So I totally get him being back in that range after two really, really good starts here for Kyle Bradish. We do have some very widely available waiver wire pitchers to mention here up top, because they did some very interesting things here. So, Scott, we will start with you. Jake Bennett of the Red Sox went into Coors Field, and he threw a gem.
He sure did. 6 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts, no walks, 15 whiffs on 72 pitches. That's a very high whiff rate. I could point out that the characteristics of his fastball were different, but of course it was Coors Field, so I don't know that it's worth getting into that. He did miss a lot of bats with that fastball. It's a bat missing fastball in general, though, based on what we've seen from Jake Bennett in the minors. A lot of people might not be familiar with the name. 25-year-old, not really a prospect of great stature, but at AAA this year, Jake Bennett had a 1.60 ERA, 102 whip, and 9.4 K per 9. A very high ground ball rate, which I like, over 50% in the minors and also now in the majors. So that's already a feather in Jake Bennett's cap. But again, getting back to the fastball, it's been a bat misser. Coming into this start, 28% whiff rate. It's a fastball that, normally when we want a high induced vertical break on a fastball, Jake Bennett's is very low, and that can be effective too. You just don't want it in that middle range where hitters are going to be able to track it well on the way to the plate. And so Bennett's is on the low end of the spectrum, and it's gotten a lot of whiffs. Did in this start, was already, to go along with that very high ground ball rate. And that's not a combination you see often, a pitcher with a bat missing fastball and a great ground ball skills. I mean, normally the ground ball skills come from a sinker, which by design isn't meant to be a big bat misser. So a lot of interesting stuff here for a pitcher who now in back-to-back starts has been really good. Between the two, 14 strikeouts, 0 walks in 11 1/3 innings. And again, at AAA this year at a 1.60 ERA. Mm-hmm. There may be something here with Jake Bennett. I'm intrigued.
I know, look, I think the Brewers are kind of at the top of the heap when it comes to buying into pitchers when they get there, but the Red Sox are, I think, right there. I mean, they're a really good pitch development team. They've had a lot of wins. I don't think Bennett, because he throws like 93, is going to be an ace or anything, but I think he's a good pitcher. Like, I really like what we've seen. He gets a lot of extension. He's going to generate ground balls. He's leveled up as a strikeout pitcher this season. I think he's pretty good. I don't think he's great. I think, Peyton Tolley certainly has more upside because he's pumping 97. I think Colin Early probably has more upside with that deep arsenal and overall better stuff. But I think Bennett is good with a good defense behind him too. So I like Jake Bennett. I think he is worth adding.
Yeah, I think in deeper leagues for sure, 11% rostered, but we've talked about a few players where you can kind of like beat the waiver wire. And I think you can maybe get ahead of, if you play in a 12-team league where people are pretty aggressive on starting pitchers, just getting out ahead of this one. Because again, everything that you guys said about Jake Bennett, I looked at his last 3 starts in the majors and then his 3 starts in the minors before that, 40 strikeouts to 5 walks over his last 6 starts combined. So that is pretty impressive stuff there. For Jake Bennett, who will face the Yankees this weekend, and then he's at the Angels next week. So if Mike Trout is still out, that's still a really, really good matchup there for Jake Bennett. Chris, over to you. We will talk about Kumar Rocker, who out of nowhere, man, just racked up a ton of whiffs.
And it was a different version of Kumar Rocker than we've pretty much ever seen. If you remember back to the early parts of Kumar Rocker's career, he had this 6 slider, and then he stopped throwing it for a little while and started throwing this harder cutter. He never really threw them at the same time. He started doing it a little bit more lately. Well, Monday's start, not a start. He pitched behind an opener, but it was a start. Was the first time in his career that he has thrown his slider and cutter. I believe it's more than 61% of the time. He threw them 76% of the time combined. It's the first time he's thrown both 25% of the time or more each. And it looked awesome. He got 20 whiffs on 20 whiffs on 76 pitches, 20 whiffs on 35 swings is a ridiculous number. 17 whiffs off the slider. The cutter actually only got 1, but the thought there would be, well, if the cutter plays a little better than his fastballs, which have never really worked well, despite he has a live arm. His fastball's never really worked. Well, if the cutter shape moves a little better with the slider, they tunnel well together, maybe that can work. It was against a lefty-heavy lineup too, which I thought was interesting, that he was able to make a cutter-slider combo work that well. I don't know. I am definitely not saying you have to add Kumar Rocker right now. I do the FBT newsletter. I always write a little waiver wire segment. I've got 2 pitchers in there worth adding. Neither of them is Kumar Rocker. I am not recommending him as an ad yet, but I thought this was a really interesting.
Who are they, Chris?
Hurston Waldrop is getting close. We haven't really talked about it, but he threw 71 pitches in his rehab start on Sunday. I think he's probably 1 start away from getting back with the Braves. And then Jake Bennett, I think, is okay. I have a little more interest in Bennett than Rocker, but I have pretty much written off Kumar Rocker, even though he's had some good stretches this season, especially, but it's never really felt particularly sustainable. this looked better than we've ever seen from Kumar Rocker. And so I'm definitely going to watch his next start and see what it looks like. Because if he can make this cutter slider combo work, that makes it very, very interesting.
And the only other thing I wanted to add with Kumar Rocker was I wonder if there's a bit of a Brian Bayo thing going on here, because his only other bulk relief appearance where he had an opener ahead of him this season was in Colorado, where he threw 7 2/3 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts. So now the 2 games as a bulk reliever are the 2 best games that we've seen from Kumar Rocker all season. So it could just be coincidence, but we'll see. I wonder if next time out they go with the opener approach again for Kumar Rocker, and whether or not he can rack up a bunch of whiffs with that slider once again. There's definitely some talent in there. Is there consistency? I think that's kind of like the next part. Can Kumar Rocker answer that question? Before we hit our first break, just a reminder, if you are listening on the audio side of things, feel free to leave us a 5-star rating and review on both Apple and Spotify. It really does help us out a ton. Let's take that break. We'll be back right after this.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ hits every highlight from all the sports that matter to you.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
CBS Sports HQ, streaming free 24/7.
Welcome back. Fantasy Baseball today. Let's hit the news and notes. Bobby Witt Jr. hit in the batting cage, fielded grounders, and ran the bases on Monday, but was out of the lineup once again. Witt is hopeful that he'll avoid the IL, and he will be available to play in the next couple days, but that's just his opinion. So we're still kind of in wait-and-see mode, and I know just yesterday you guys said if he was out of the lineup that you would recommend people leaving him on the bench this week. So we'll see what happens if he can actually get back in the next couple days. Terry Francona confirmed Ellie De La Cruz will return here on Tuesday. We knew that one yesterday, so hope everyone got him back in the lineup. Francisco Lindor could return from the IL as soon as Wednesday. If you guys had Lindor anywhere, were you getting him back in your weekly lineups this week?
I probably should have given more thought to it in some of the deeper roto leagues, which I think that's all I have him in. I did not. Same. But, I don't know that JP Crawford's production is going to be so good that I should have passed up a shorter week for Lindor. It's obviously been a long time since we've seen him. He went on the IL in April, but he was borderline first-round pick. I guess because of the hamate bone injury, he ended up being more like a late second, but he has first-round upside for sure.
All right, we did get 2 Dodgers who left here on Monday night. Kyle Tucker left with back spasms, and Dalton Rushing was taken out because they had a fear of a concussion there. So he did pass his initial concussion protocol test. They will retake it in 24 hours. Dalton Rushing is unlikely to play here on Tuesday. And Kyle Tucker apparently not overly concerned here with that injury. So we'll see what happens with him as well. Jeremy Pena left Monday night with a right hamstring cramp. That is the same hamstring that landed him on the IL earlier this season. So see what happens with Jeremy Pena. He actually was hitting really well since he returned as well.
Sorry, I just want to point out, because I saw someone mention in the chat, and I know it's the first thing a bunch of people are going to think. Even if Kyle Tucker does miss some time, I really don't think it's going to be James Tibbs. I can't say for sure, but he's only played 1 game in the outfield since May 7th. It was like 2 or 3 days ago, so he's getting better, but he's been playing through a forearm injury. He's mostly been limited to first base or DH. The Dodgers famously have pretty good first basemen and DHs on their roster, so unless they're comfortable with Tibbs in the outfield, I don't really think it's going to happen right now, even if Tucker goes on the IL.
Did you look at today?
I did not see
today. Let me check that, because it was just a couple days ago when Tibbs made his return to the outfield.
But then he went back to first base the next day.
So he did. So we'll see that.
There was no games today.
Oh, yeah. I guess they don't play on Monday, do they?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Never mind.
So we'll see. See about Tuesday there for James Tibbs. Garrett Crochet's left shoulder and lat are improving, but has not yet been cleared to resume a throwing program. Joe Ryan has been scratched from Tuesday's start due to illness, so he looks like he could avoid facing the Dodgers and potentially start later on this week. Corey Seager is scheduled to take live BP on Tuesday. He's currently on the concussion IL. Randy Arozarena did some base running on Sunday, could return as soon as Tuesday. He is on the IL with a hamstring injury. Do you guys have Randy Arozarena anywhere? Did you consider putting him back in lineups? Could return on Tuesday, but we don't know for sure.
I didn't.
I think I did in a 5 outfielder league, but not in a 3 outfielder league.
The Marlins placed Max Meyer on the bereavement list, which means he will miss anywhere from 3 to 7 days. So on the short end, he could still start later this week. If he misses all the time, he won't make a start at all this week. Liam Hicks is awaiting MRI results on his injured lower back. He went on the IL this weekend. Yuri Perez felt great during his pitch design session and could rejoin the rotation Wednesday against the Rangers. I believe he only threw around 50 pitches in that first rehab outing. So even if he does start Wednesday, he's probably only throwing somewhere around 70, 75 pitches, I would imagine. Emilio Pagan will begin a rehab assignment on Thursday. Tony Santillan has looked better as of late, but I think they are desperately in need of just a closer, and hopefully if Pagan's healthy, he can just slot right back into that role.
And he's only 59% rostered, so he's out there in leagues.
I think Santillan, didn't he take the loss today? Mm-hmm. So he had been looking better, but it's still not that stable.
Yeah, it's a 5 ERA for overall.
Yeah.
Matthew Boyd's next start will be in the majors, and it looked like that might come Thursday against the Mets. Mick Abel, who suffered a setback this weekend, underwent an MRI Monday that did not reveal any structural damage. The White Sox activated Kyle Teal and optioned Edgar Caro to AAA. Teal, in 78 games last year with the White Sox, hit .273, 8 homers, 38 runs, 35 RBI, 3 steals, a .786 OPS, 39% rostered. Popular sleeper breakout candidate coming into the season. We could use some catcher help with Will Smith and Adley Rutschman and Liam Hicks out on the IL. Would you guys take Kyle Teal ahead of any of Francisco Alvarez or Dalton Rushing? I mean, I guess Rushing is easier now that he's hurt, but
yeah, I think I would, just because they haven't been getting the job done. Like, I don't think Teal is definitively better than those guys, but if you're in the sort of league where that's an option, you might as well just try to wrangle we don't know that Francisco Alvarez is going to be a great starting option for you, because he never has been for a long stretch of time. So you might as well try. You want to cast a wide net in a situation where you don't have a surefire option at a position, and part of that means chasing the latest thing when the current thing isn't going well. And so I think it makes sense to swap out one of those guys for Teal, or I don't know how hot Gabriel Moreno is, but like he's in that same group too. That kind of 11 to 18 range of the catcher rankings. Alejandro Kirk, I mean, if you wanted to swap him out for Teal, that would make sense too.
All right, Justin Steele, not to be confused with Kyle Teal. Justin Steele resumed a throwing program on Monday. He underwent UCL revision surgery last May and then suffered a setback in April. And they have said all along we won't see him again until the second half of the season. But if you have a lot of IL spots and limited, and you have a spot to play with, Justin Steele is someone that you can stash. Chase DeLauder is hoping to return during their homestand, which lasts from June 26th through July 5th. Jackson Holiday has missed 2 straight with groin tightness. Addison Barger is targeting Thursday to start a rehab assignment, 41% rostered. Chris, do you have any interest here in Addison Barger, third base and outfield eligible?
I'm not going to say zero interest, but I kind of think he just got hot last year and isn't really that good. So I'm not super interested in Addison Barger.
And perhaps the biggest news in all of sports today, Chris, your Miami Heat, they were busy, huh? Traded for the Greek Freak, Giannis. You hyped?
Sure.
I don't know who else to play for their team. But
well, are you a Heat fan, Chris? I for some reason I thought the Marlins were the only team. Marlins and FIU were the only.
Yeah, they're the only ones that I really care about anymore. I don't. Yeah, I don't know, because I started this job writing about basketball, and so I kind of lost the Heat fandom there. I was writing about football for a while. So I kind of lost the Dolphins fandom there. It's still there somewhere. The way I describe it
Did
is
you like stamp it out? Because you were you trying to be big journalist, not wanting
there's
to no rooting in the press box kind of thing?
There's a little bit of that, but there's also just like, I don't know. You start watching every game. You become fans of more than just one team. The Marlins are the one that I've always been the most.
You start working at a restaurant and suddenly you don't like the food there anymore.
I mean, that happens sometimes.
I mean,
didn't happen with me at Dairy Queen when I worked at high school. I will say that.
It did happen to me in Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I don't know. The Marlins were always the one I was most emotionally tied to. So
yeah,
that's the only one that stuck. I'm a masochist is really what it is. Although if I was a masochist, I'd still be a Dolphins fan. So I guess that's
yeah.
To
answer your question, Scott, my first job was working at Arby's when I was in high school.
I did not ask. But
I never got tired of the food. No,
they've got great
the
fries.
question if it did get tired of the food. Yeah.
They've got great fries.
All right.
So we all started in fast food.
Yeah.
We got Arby's, we
Good,
got Dairy Queen, we got
job.
Dunkin' Donuts, which has dropped the donuts. It's just Dunkin' now, which is a choice, I have to say. Nobody asked me as a former employee pouring coffees for people.
Yeah. I never got tired of the food though. I could
great fries.
Every day working at Arby's.
Maybe Dunkin' Donuts just isn't that good.
Yeah. I mean, how much can you actually eat donuts, Unless you get into like the bacon, egg, and cheese stuff, and I don't know.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I got into all of it.
All right.
Culottes. Is that what they were called?
That sounds right. Two other bounce backs that we did not get to earlier on. Michael King, big bounce back. He needed it against the Braves. 7 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts, 0 walks. That is the key here for Michael King. Previous 5 starts before this one, a 6.41 ERA, a 1.46 whip. So again, needed a big bounce back, and we got it. And one who might be close, Framber Valdez. 6 innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts here against the Yankees. Back-to-back quality starts. And last 2, it's 12 innings, 1 run, 14 strikeouts to 5 walks. So I feel like we're getting closer here for Framber Valdez. Chris, what'd you see here from Michael King and Valdez? Is your confidence level growing in those two?
With Valdez, it's kind of like what I said about Bradish, where I'm so confident that he's going to figure it out eventually that I'm just kind of going to buy in every time we see signs of it. And I think the last 2 starts for Valdez have been very good. So
the curveball specifically played a lot better in this one. And I feel like that's what we were waiting for. Cause really the last, 3 or 4 years, that's kind of been the story with Valdez. As the curveball goes, so he goes. And
I might have written those exact words in tomorrow's newsletter.
There you go.
And yeah, that's the key. He had 7 whiffs on it, 5 whiffs today.
5 whiffs on the curveball. It was a 42% whiff rate on that pitch. It had been a 32% whiff rate on the season. It had like an extra inch of drop. So good signs there for Valdez.
I agree. And then King, the hard thing is, this is also kind of what we talked about earlier, where it's just, he kind of just needs to pitch better. There isn't that like canary in the coal mine, like with Valdez, where it's like, okay, if the curveball's good, he's going to be good. If the curveball's bad, he's going to be bad. With King, it's just, he kind of just needs to throw strikes consistently and locate down in the zone. And he wasn't doing that well before this start. He did it well today. I tend to think he'll continue doing it moving forward, but we don't have a super long track record with Michael King being a must-start pitcher. So I'm still a little wary of him.
I kind of think the Braves lineup is, I'm not saying it's trash, period. It's kind of playing like garbage right now.
It's struggling. Well, they got really good results from basically everyone for the first 2 months. And you can't do that all year unless it's the 2023 version of the Braves that did. But
they haven't scored.
Drake Baldwin has been pretty bad since he came back.
Pretty bad. So Baldwin,
12 strikeouts and 19 plate appearances.
His first at bat back from the IL, he hit the longest home run for anyone this season. Since then, he's gone 0 for 24 with 15 strikeouts.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going on there, because that is not a guy who should, even at his coldest, should be striking out like that.
Golden sombrero today.
Yeah.
For Drake Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not really sure what to make of that.
Oblique injury is what he was coming back from. And like, it'd be easy to blame it on that. Oh, maybe he's not really healthy, but he hit that 476-foot home run right away. I don't know. It's a little concerning there for Baldwin.
The one thing I'll point out with Michael King in this start, well, he did a better job throwing strikes and avoiding walks. Gave up a lot of hard contact, man. 12 hard hits in this game, 91 mile per hour average exit velocity. So it was very clearly a step in the right direction for Michael King, but still some things to clear up. It's like you can't just, all right, let me get in the zone, and all of a sudden you're giving up all this hard contact. So we'll see where Michael King can go, but obviously a nice step in the right direction after a rough stretch for him. I do have some burning questions here that I want to talk about, and I got 7 players in particular. Garrett Cole, I keep saying, we need more data. We need more. We need to see what happens here. He kind of stunk at the Tigers. No way around it. 4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, 5 strikeouts. Did have 11 whiffs on 89 pitches. So I guess, glass half full. That's the one good thing. And the pitcher list pitcher cards gave his stuff an A- in this one, but the locations were not good. He had a lot of 0-2 counts where he just threw pitches over the middle of the zone and they wound up getting hit pretty hard. 9 hard hits in this game. Scott, I lean towards being more worried than not here with Garrett Cole, who again, he's in his mid-30s. He's coming back from Tommy John and the internal brace. I think maybe this should just be expected for him.
I mean, it depends what you mean by worried. In the short term, I'm worried. In the short term, even though he got a decent number of whiffs in this start, the swinging strike rate since returning for Garrett Cole is below 8%, which is
it's like Justin Wrobleski levels.
Yeah, it's like basement level swinging strike rate, which obviously Garrett Cole can't succeed that way. But I think the most critical data point is the stuff. And I mean, pitcher list, like you said, gave him A- for stuff. From what I can read from the data, the stuff looks good. So he's just pitching like crap. I mean, it's the opposite situation from Woodruff here today, where we wonder if the stuff's really there, but he pitched great. He located as well as he possibly could, and Cole's doing the opposite. If the stuff is there, particularly from a guy with his track record, we know he knows how to wrangle the stuff. He's going to get there eventually. But right now, I don't have a lot of faith in him, no.
Let's talk about Hunter Brown, who was very inefficient at the Blue Jays. Only 3 innings here, 1 run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 2 hit by pitches in this game as well. And Chris, what concerned me here is the velocity. So we just got to watch, again, coming back from a shoulder injury, fastball only down 0.5 mile per hour, but the sinker, the slider, the curve, they were all down over 1 mile per hour in this one. And obviously he was very inefficient. So concern level here with Hunter Brown, his second start back from a long IL stint.
If we're firing up the concernometer, I'm like a 2. I think it's probably just rust. I think the 2 hit by pitches especially is a sign of rust. He hasn't been quite there yet. It was 3 walks and 5 2/3 innings his previous outing. Only 2 walks in this one, but he just could not finish guys off. Was all over the place. So I'm inclined to just give him the benefit of the doubt. It's his first 2 starts back from a shoulder injury. It is possible that Hunter Brown just never gets it back. I won't discount that possibility, but I don't think it's the likeliest outcome here. I think with both Brown and Garrett Cole, I think we're just seeing a little rust. Garrett Cole, it reminds me of Sandy Alcantara last year. Where, remember, it took him a couple months, but he was basically himself in the second half of last season. I think we'll get a stretch like that from Garrett Cole at some point. We're just not there yet. And with Hunter Brown, I mean, only 2 starts. It's so little to go on that I don't think there's much value in being worried.
All right, Gavin Williams, a nice bounce back after 3 rough starts in a row, 5 innings, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts to 1 walk. He had 14 whiffs on 95 pitches, and his velocity was up quite a bit. Fastball, sinker up 1.6 miles per hour. The 4-seam was up 1.2 miles per hour here for Gavin Williams, but he continues to allow a lot of hard contact. 5 hard hits here, 93.4 average EV against, and entering this start, He was 6th percentile in average exit velocity against 3rd percentile in both hard hit rate and barrel rate. So, Scott, I like the whiffs. I like the improved control a lot this year from Gavin Williams, but it seems to have come with a trade-off that he's in the zone more. He's also giving up a lot more hard contact as a result. So how worried are you about, I don't know, just like this new version of Gavin Williams?
I think it's still the best version of Gavin Williams overall. It's probably going to prevent him from being an ace. I mean, didn't Shane Bieber have quality of contact issues early in his career where he still was really good, and Robbie Ray dealt with that early in his career. And I wouldn't say he was really good, but a lot of that was walks too. If you miss enough bats, then the contact quality matters a lot less, because no contact is better than weak contact. So this is a flaw in Williams' game. It was a known flaw coming in. I think that was the main reason Chris and I were divided on Williams coming in, where I liked him, Chris didn't. And it was mostly because of that contact quality. I tend to put less stock in that if I feel like the guy has big swing and miss potential. And Williams has mostly lived up to that this year. He was going through a rough patch prior to this start. He had been so good before then that it seemed inevitable. But I think he's back on track. I would still treat him as a must-start pitcher.
And I would also just point out, quality of contact is a skill that pitchers have some control of. They don't have as much control over it as hitters do. And it takes a lot longer to know what is real and what isn't when it comes to the quality of contact that pitchers allow. And so we have a couple of years of Gavin Williams being average, maybe a little worse than average in the quality of contact he gives up. And then we have 2.5 months of him being really bad. I generally think you should regress that. And if the strikeout rate sustains and the improved walk rate sustains, even if he goes back to being bad in quality of contact, but not, one of the worst in baseball, I think you're looking at a much improved pitcher. And I think that's a safe assumption for Gavin Williams. I think it's always going to be a headache. But I think on the whole, what's the ERA down to now? 382? Maybe it's more like 360. But I think he's going to be worth starting moving forward.
Yeah, if he gives you like a 360 ERA, 115 to 120 whip, it kind of feels a lot like Jesus Luzardo, right? Kind of like inflated ratios, but good strikeouts. Like, there's a good pitcher there, but it just kind of comes with some inconsistencies as well.
Although Jesus Luzardo's had some of the weakest contact in baseball this year. Yeah. So I get what you're saying. Just the final stat line is what you're comparing it to, but it is they do come about those stat lines differently.
Foster Griffin, a great outing here against the Phillies. 7 1/3 innings, 1 run, 9 strikeouts to 0 walks, 17 whiffs on 105 pitches. And over his last 6 starts, it's a 1.78 ERA, a 0.88 whip, 35 strikeouts to 5 walks over 35 1/3 innings. I know you guys have kind of been divided on Foster Griffin. So is he just good? I don't know. I think he might just be good. Not great.
Okay, all right. Define good.
Like a sub
like a major league caliber pitcher? Yes.
Sub 4 ERA, of 120 whip.
I think he's saying good for fantasy, but
he's a sub 4 ERA pitcher. That's a low enough bar that I think he can pass it, but I don't believe Foster Griffin, like, what'd you say it is, a 170 ERA over the past 6 starts?
178.
No.
I don't think he's that good either.
I don't think he's a 315 ERA pitcher or anything close
which
to
is
that.
The season mark.
I think he's a 4-ish ERA pitcher, and on the good days, it'll be sub 4, and on the bad days, it'll be above 4. It was probably above 4 not that long ago, 6 starts ago, roughly. And I think we're seeing a hot streak, but I don't think this is like a top 60 major league pitcher. No.
I mean, the whole season has basically been a hot streak except for a little rough patch in May, right?
He has 3 earned runs or fewer in 13 of 16 starts. He's had 3 bad starts basically all season.
I think there's plenty of reason to be skeptical of Foster Griffin. I mean, just look at the ERA estimators; they're all in the mid fours. But I do think, as valuable as those composite stats are and summing up how good or bad a pitcher actually is, and as much as I lean on them myself, I mean, they have their limits. And when I go piecemeal through the things that are good versus the things that are bad for Foster Griffin, I arrive at a more positive place than the ERA estimators do. He's nearly a strikeout per inning. He has good control. He gives up weak contact, less than 88 miles per hour on average. A lot of it is it's pretty balanced in terms of on the ground and in the air. Because of that, because he's allowing only like a 37% fly ball rate with 88 mile per hour average exit velocity, he's kind of given up more home runs than he should, according to how I assess that mentally. And yet he's still come out with a low 3 ERA so far. So I think in terms of raw talent, he's doesn't stand out in that way, and maybe the league will catch up to it. But obviously he was dominant in Korea last year. He's been very effective in all those ways I just pointed out so far here in the majors. And I'm not saying you should treat him like one of your 5 best pitchers even, but is he somebody that deserves to be rostered in every league that you should plan on starting at least more often than not? I think I'm there with Foster Griffin.
So
Especially in head-to-head points leagues too, as a Sparp.
As a Sparp especially, I think that's all fair. I would just say outliers always exist by definition. These peripheral stats cannot accurately describe every single pitcher in the population. You will almost always go broke trying to identify which pitchers are the outliers in the future. He's getting good results right now. I think it's fine to ride him. I think he's a 4 ERA pitcher. That's what it comes down to for me. So however you value that, I think that's a guy who's going to be on the waiver wire at some point. But he's like, use him now, that's sure. But we've already done it once with him where we rode the hot hand and then he had the 2 bad starts in a row and undid a lot of it. He's gone back and been phenomenal since then. I think that's probably going to happen again.
All right, let's take our final break. When we return, I have one other player I want to ask about, a hitter, Brandon Nimmo. Kind of a weird season here. We'll talk about that right after this.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman. New season now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back, Fantasy Baseball. Today I did have 7 burning questions or 7 players to talk about. I've now trimmed that to 5 because we got to keep things moving. But Brandon Nimmo's the last one I want to ask about. 3 for 3 with a walk and 2 runs scored here. He's hitting over 300 in June, but has 0 home runs in the month. The home park has killed him this year. At home, he's hitting 225 with 1 homer, a 620 OPS. On the road, 308, 6 homers, 874 OPS. And Texas has the 2nd lowest park factor, the 7th lowest home run factor over the past 3 years. So his underlying stats, his expected stats, the barrel rate, hard contact, it's all there. It all looks good. But I just wonder if maybe he won't get to those numbers. He'll just underperform them because of his home environment.
That's interesting because I had made the opposite case for Marcus Semien with that trade that sent Nimmo to Texas, Semien to the Mets. I decided that, there's a lot to like there for Semien. It's just the Rangers Park that was killing him, and he'll be better off with the Mets. I didn't really consider the reciprocal for Nimmo. So you pointing out those splits, it is illuminating because you mentioned all the underlying stats are there for Nimmo. They're not just there; they're better than ever by a lot. His expected batting average is 288. His expected slug is 508. It's like all 90th percentile and pacing far ahead of what we normally see from Brandon Nimmo, even though he's 33 now. So in theory, he should be the best version of Brandon Nimmo ever. Yet it does, as you point out, seem like that home park is killing him. Now, you that's half his games there this year. So you cut this year's sample in half. That's a pretty small sample.
153 plate appearances, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it's definitive. I still think on the whole, there is more reason to be encouraged by Nimmo than not. I might even call him a buy low to some extent. But it could be that this park is nerfing what should be a more valuable asset than he's actually been.
All right, quickly run through some waiver wire options from Monday's action. Andre Palante continues to pitch well. Last 7 starts, 2.68 ERA, a 1 whip on the nose. Lots of ground balls. He's limiting hard contact. He's 71% rostered. Merrill Kelly turned in a quality start here. And against the Cardinals, 6 innings, 3 runs, only 2 strikeouts here. It's still too many walks. He's not getting whiffs. I don't know. Merrill Kelly is looking very old very quickly here, I believe. And Zebby Matthews, a quality start against the Dodgers, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, 2 homers allowed. Continues to give up a lot of hard contact. The whiffs are down this year. Like, he has a quality start in 6 of 8 outings, but when things go wrong, they go really wrong for Zebby Matthews. So do you guys think any of these 3 are more than just streamer types right now? Zebby, Merrill Kelly, Andre Palante?
No, I don't think so.
He can't keep getting away with it. That's how I feel about Zebby Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Palante, I mean, great ground ball pitcher, right? But that's about it.
He's the one that I want to use most from this group right now.
Yeah,
I think. And
streaming him against the Marlins in his next start, that seems like it makes a lot of sense. At the Cubs next week,
hit or
could go either way. Yeah,
it's not just a high ground ball rate. It's weak contact. It's weak ground balls. 87 mile per hour average exit velocity for Palante, and and I think he has a career high strikeout rate too. So he is looking
really good defense behind him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's looking better. Like, he always was streamable. He always had a better floor than he was given credit for in fantasy. A better pitcher in real life than fantasy, I'd say. And Andre Palante, but he's looking more usable than ever now. I still don't think he needs to be universally rostered or anything. It's still more of a downside play than an upside play. But I think he's solid.
By the way, there was a really good piece on Fangraphs last week by Michael Bowman. Headline, is Andre Palante good? I still can't tell. I do think that mostly sums it up. But that piece goes into detail about some of the changes he's made. He has a slightly lower ground ball rate this season. He's changed his fastball usage a little bit, but it's led to more strikeouts in a way that I think has made him a better pitcher. So I think, again, it's probably close to a 4 ERA. Not a super exciting pitcher, but a useful one.
3 deeper names. Anthony Kay continues to pitch well, and he got that vaunted Guardians lineup. 6 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts, 15 whiffs on 101 pitches. Last 10 starts for Anthony Kay. It's a 3.33 ERA, also a 125 whip, so that tells you probably some luck here on the ERA during that stretch. Brady Singer, a great start against the Brewers. 7 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts, opposing Brandon Woodruff in this one. Eric Lauer continues to pitch very well with the Dodgers, this time in bulk relief. 6 no-hit innings, more walks than strikeouts. Can't keep getting away with it. That is Eric Lauer as well. But 3 deeper names. Do you guys see anything here with Lauer, Singer, or Anthony Kay?
I think Kay is probably the most interesting of this group, in large part because he's
in a points league. Yeah.
He's a sparp in a points league. I've had him in a couple of points leagues where he's just kind of been in my lineup most of the time, and I'm happy with it because I don't really care about relief pitchers in that format, and I'd rather just throw a guy like him out there, and especially in a 2-start week. I don't really think Anthony Kay is someone who's going to matter in Roto, but I don't think any of these guys are likely to matter. This is the second year in a row that Eric Lauer has had a surprisingly useful stretch. I don't think there's any reason to think that's going to last. I know it's the Dodgers and maybe they've wrung something out of him. He has 16 strikeouts and 28 in the 3rd innings since getting the Dodgers. I think we're just biding our time until an actually interesting pitcher replaces him in the rotation, either River Ryan or eventually Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow.
All right, on the hitter side of things, I only have 2 hitters I want to mention, and they're names that we keep talking about, so I think we can keep this moving. But Sam Antonacci, we raved about him yesterday, talked about him on the Express episode. Huge game here, 2 for 4 with a walk, a run, 2 steals, 3 RBI, including a walk-off 2-run single. He is dominating in June, 67% rostered, second base and outfield. I think that number needs to be closer to 100%. And Dylan Cruz looks like he is coming around a little bit, 2 for 5 with an RBI. Last 11 games, he's hitting 250, 3 homers, 11 RBI, 1 steal. And we mentioned this last week. The underlying data for Dylan Cruz looks very good. Lots of hard contact. Expected stats look good. So 5 outfielder leagues for sure. And, you know, if he starts to catch up to those expected stats, we might be talking about Dylan Cruz in 3 outfielder leagues as well. Some hitting leftovers here. Riley Green, the power is coming around after 0 homers in May. He's up to 5 home runs so far in the month of June. Otto Lopez leads the majors in hits.
Shocking.
Seems crazy, man. 2 more hits here. He has hit at least 330 in each month this season. Shohei Ohtani has been raking as a hitter once again. Hit his 17th home run, another leadoff homer. Last 34 games, he's hitting 372 with 11 home runs. The batting average has been a disappointment for Kazuma Okamoto, but the power is legit. Like 17 homers, 4 home runs in his past 9 games. He's on pace for 35 home runs this season. Taylor Ward, revenge game in Anaheim. He hit his 5th homer, has looked better in June so far. Manny Machado hit his 14th home run. Last 12 games, hitting 277 with 3 home runs. So baby steps here for Machado. Baby steps for George Springer. Last 9 for him, 353, 3 homers, 3 steals. And Byron Buxton. I think this is probably the best version of Byron Buxton we've ever seen. Last 15 games, he has 8 homers, 2 steals. He's hitting 356. Last year, he hit 35 homers in 126 games. His current pace over 126 games would be 46 home runs. So, man, he is just dominating right now. Lots of names here, some that might be coming around. Anyone that you'd like to touch on here in this group?
I mean, just want to point out, Byron Buxton didn't have a homer until like the 15th game of the season, I think, too.
And it coincided with him getting moved to leadoff, and now he's batting second again. But yeah.
Yeah, he's got 25 homers in 54 games since he hit his first one. That is, like a 75 homer pace? Just over that? He's not going to do that, but...
Just stay healthy, please.
He's awesome.
I was looking to see if Buxton's currently in line to go to the All-Star game, and he is, actually. A latest update came out today. I'm pleasantly surprised by that because the NL outfield...
He's no Ernie Clement.
The NL outfield, Ernie Clement is by far the leading vote getter at second base.
What is going on?
I just, this is the Blue Jays fans. I like enthusiasm. It's good to be enthusiastic, but I don't like.
You're not enthusiastic about enthusiasm.
It's just kind of a jerk move to I want my team's starting player to go instead of the one who actually deserves to.
My thing on this, who cares?
What do you mean, who cares?
Vote harder. If you don't I keep seeing Yankees fans especially complaining. I saw a Yankees fan who was like, oh, the entire nation of Canada is voting for him. And it's like Jersey, Connecticut, and New York have 5 million fewer people than Canada. We can't use that excuse. Canada doesn't have that many people. Just vote harder.
No, an individual person can only vote so hard, Chris, and they're allowed to care that the fans overall are blowing this. I have, we've seen this in recent years. The updates come out, the voting looks terrible, and then there's a rally at the end. I think this is the last week. It's only voting through Thursday. I implore everyone.
Vote harder. Yeah.
Everyone to vote for the right players.
Scott, have you voted yet?
No, I haven't.
See?
I voted
but I usually don't vote. I'm imploring everyone else to.
If you don't express your civic duty, you don't get to complain about the system.
I mean, you still can.
No.
You still can. I'm still going to watch the game. I can still be I really wish that other guy was there.
I don't really watch the All-Star game.
Oh, come on, man.
I like
You don't
voting
watch
for
the All-Star
The
game.
baseball All-Star game is the one I'm most likely to watch, but no, I don't really care about All-Star games.
the baseball All-Star game is probably
It's
the best
it's
one.
the only one that actually resembles the sport itself. But give me the home run derby every day over the All-Star game.
Not anymore. They changed back to an outs format instead of a timer format. It's going to be a snooze. That's going to be a lot of taking pitches and very few actual home runs.
We got to start booing guys for taking pitches.
I mean, it's not going to matter. We've done it before. It was a snooze. They changed it to the timer system. It was thrilling. Everybody loved it. I guess not everybody loved it at first, and then people forgot how bad the other system was.
Well, they started cheating.
Yeah, I mean, and that's easy enough to enforce, right? People got frustrated because the pitcher would throw another pitch before the last home run landed. That's easy to enforce. Just enforce it better. Like that was the solution, not to change back to this format that's unwatchable.
I don't know if it could still end up in a swing off, but the swing off in the home run derby last year was just epic.
Well, that was the All-Star game. That wasn't the home run derby.
Is that
they
true?
had it. That decided the game itself.
They did the All-Star game.
I thought for some reason that was the home run. Yeah, that would make more sense. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
I wouldn't mind seeing that again.
Yeah, tie during the game.
Yep.
I'm rooting for a tie.
Some pitching leftovers. Dylan Cease, a mixed outing against the Astros, 5 2/3, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, to 4 walks. That's back-to-back starts with 4 walks for Dylan Cease. Michael Wacha was great at the Rays, 7 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts there. Drew Rasmussen, a tough loss on the other side, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts. He has a quality start in 5 of his last 6 outings. Anything to add or mention with Rasmussen, Michael Wacha, and Dylan Cease?
Not really. I'm just kind of doing what they do.
Scott?
Yeah, it was a nice start for Wacha. He'd been slumping lately. I think in a way that was understandable. He obviously was owed some regression, but that doesn't mean you discard him. He's still got some good starts in him, and he delivered one.
The call to the bullpen. So someone pointed this out to me earlier. While the 2 West Coast games were going on, every game up until that point had a save situation. And he asked, how many times has there been a night where every single game had a save or a blown save or just a save opportunity at the end of the game? And I don't know. It's a good question. I was like, I don't know that, I mean, I'm sure it's happened before, but you don't see that often where it's like every single game has a save opportunity. So interesting night of bullpens here for the Tigers. Kenley Jansen was unavailable. Will Vest got the final 4 outs for his second save. For the Royals, Alex Lang got the 9th inning with a 1-run lead. It was a clean inning for his 6th save. Alex Lang just kind of feels like the guy. He's only 35% rostered. I think that number needs to be higher.
For now. I think he's likely to struggle.
Well, what? Yeah, I don't know that I completely trust him, but he is the guy for the Royals right now.
He should be rostered in every categories league.
Yep.
And probably very few points leagues.
But I don't have a lot of faith that he'll be rostered in August.
Yeah.
For the Rangers, Jacob Latz got the final 4 outs for his 14th save. I just want to highlight, he's been amazing. 1.46 ERA and a .62 whip for Jacob Latz. For the Brewers, Abner Uribe.
You know what? I don't even know that Lang should be rostered in every categories league because I don't know that he needs to be rostered in saves plus holds leagues.
That's fair.
Yeah. No, I get that. Any leagues with saves, though, I do think he should be rostered. For the Brewers, Abner Uribe, a clean 8th inning. Trevor McGill, a clean 9th inning. Then it was Joel Kuhnel who got the 10th with a 2-run lead. He allowed the Manfred man to score, but picked up his 5th save of the season. For the White Sox, messy. Grant Taylor got the 7th inning with a 3-run lead. He gave up 3 runs on 2 walks and 3 hits. Later in the 9th, Sir Anthony Dominguez, he entered with a 1-run lead. He allowed 2 runs on a walk and 2 hits, took his 5th blown save. He was relieved by Chris Murphy, who finished the inning and picked up the win. We'll get to the Guardians in just a second, but White Sox bullpen is a mess right now.
Yeah, so I do think you have to say Grant Taylor's ascension has stalled out a little bit. But the good news is Sir Anthony Dominguez has also been bad lately. So
is that good news?
There's still a path. It's just Grant Taylor has given up, I think, runs in 4 straight outings. One of them was an unearned. but he's been a little shaky lately. And so, if he had a path to take that job, well, I think he kind of blew it. But Sir Anthony Dominguez is also blowing it. So Grant Taylor still has a path. He just has to pitch better than he has lately. But I think in an alternate world where he pitches well over the last week and a half or so, Grant Taylor might just be the closer by now. So that's a little frustrating.
So, yeah, the White Sox broadcast pointed this out. I was just looking up real quick. In save situations this season, 18 games, Sir Anthony Dominguez has a 6.06 ERA. That was entering Monday. In non-save situations, 12 games, a .77 ERA. So I don't know if it's just kind of a mental thing, but
it's usually the opposite for closers.
Yeah. I mean, Sir Anthony Dominguez not really a closer, I guess, So I guess that might, further tell the story there. For the Guardians on the other side, Cade Smith, he was trying to get the final 5 outs. He came back out for the 9th with that 1-run lead. He allowed 2 runs on a walk and 2 hits and took his first loss of the season. For the Nationals, Clayton Beer got the 9th with a 3-run lead. He picked up his 6th save. They do not have a closer, and they never will ever again. For the Blue Jays, Louis Varland picked up his 16th save. For the Dodgers, he picked up his 10th. For the Cardinals, he picked up his Riley O'Brien, picked up his 19th. I should probably say who. For the Red Sox, Aroldis Chapman got the 9th inning with a 2-run lead in Coors Field, and he allowed 3 runs on 4 hits without recording an out. He took his first blown save and 3rd loss. I've seen people talking about this on Twitter. This was just Chapman's 5th appearance since May 21st. He's just barely pitched. It's very weird. So
yeah, that seems like bad management. You should be using your closer in non-save situations if they haven't pitched much lately. They were probably going to lose this game anyway because they, I believe, gave up a bases clearing triple with no outs in the 9th inning. Jarren Duran badly misplayed a ball in left field that it was not an error because I don't think he touched the ball until he bobbled it. But the bobble was like the 3rd thing he did wrong on this play.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It probably shouldn't have ended on that play, even if it probably should have ended, another play later, maybe, but that was bad.
Yeah. And then for the Padres, Mason Miller picked up his 21st save of the season. To stream or not to stream on Tuesday, we have Peter Lambert at the Blue Jays, Mitch Keller against the Mariners, Zach Littell against the Phillies, Sean Burke against the Guardians, Kyle Leahy against the D-backs, Shane Baz at the Angels, J.R. Ritchie at the Padres.
What did we say yesterday? Baz. Yeah, Baz against the Angels. Burke, I like even more against the Guardians. Sean Burke.
I did start Kyle Leahy in a points league with that SPARP eligibility.
Peter Lambert at Toronto. That's my 3rd choice.
I would agree with those 3. On Wednesday, we have Griffin Jacks against the Royals, Aaron Nola at the Nationals, Mike Burrows at the Blue Jays, Shane Drowan at the Reds, Rhett Lauder against the Brewers, Matthew Liberatore against the D-backs, and Martin Perez against the Padres.
Jacks against the Royals.
That's my favorite. I don't think I like anybody else that much.
I think Jacks, Perez, Drowan. That's who I would say.
Yeah, if I had to do a second one, probably Martin Perez, like you said. Drowan at Cincinnati.
It's risky for sure.
I mean, I don't think he's going to go long enough to get the win. And what's the point if he's not doing that? But I like it. I like him skill-wise. So maybe. I guess he's the 3rd choice because I have to pick a 3rd.
I agree with that.
Let's wrap up with Team Name Tuesday. And these are from Ryan. And the first one is the Kaiway to Hell.
All right.
Yeah.
Life is a Kaiway.
Wow.
Yeah.
How you doing? Like how
Sure.
you lead. Last but not least.
That's good.
Don't look at my McGonagall.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
I don't know either. Slipping on it.
Come on, Frank. You can't do it if you don't know it.
I was going to ask, because Scott, I know you have kids.
I do.
How is have you picked up any Minionese as a parent? Okay, no.
No.
I want someone to say Travis Bazana in the Minions voice. I feel like that would be really funny. But I don't know how to do that voice.
I feel like something we can generate with AI if you wanted, but
I'm not going to do that. But someone in the audience can do a good Minions voice.
I'm not going to vote for the All-Star team. Chris isn't going to come up with the Minion voice.
I support human-made art. So someone in the audience, please do a Minions voice and send us.
You support human-made art unless someone else is doing it. Then it's fine.
No. I want them to do it, not the AI.
I'm sure we could find someone out there who could do a Minion voice.
Someone in our audience is fluent in Minionese, which is the official language of the Minions.
I know one of their names is Kevin, right?
And can send us an audio recording of them saying Travis Bazzana in the Minions voice. That's all I want.
And if you send it in, and if it sounds good, we'll use it as a sound drop for Travis.
That'll be the sound drop.
So there you go. That is your incentive. If you are still listening at the hour 10 mark of today's podcast. From Robert, a classic rock edition, Bachman Turner Overdrive.
That's classic, yeah.
From Kurt, Blazed and Confused.
Yep.
Manny, I Feel Like a Woman.
That's good.
Show, Hey, Can You See?
Shania Twain.
Yep.
Yeah, but how does Manny fit into that?
Because
I guess it says man. I feel.
Like,
Yeah. Okay. I guess. Sorry.
Show, Hey, Can You See?
Yep.
Yeah.
Chappie Gilmore.
Yeah.
From Matt, the Vladdy Mac will make you jump.
Jump.
That's do I have it loaded up?
Mac Vladdy. Vladdy Mac.
It's My Way or the Kai Way.
Like the Limp Bizkit song.
Yeah, those are pretty good Kai Way Tang names today. Save money, live better. Walbert.
Yeah.
From Dushin in Edmonton, Canada. Well, McGonagall, Billy is dead. He said it's a Simpsons reference and that you guys would know what it is.
But I don't get it.
It's a deep
but I believe it.
If it's a certain era of The Simpsons, I usually get them. I don't get this one.
There's a lot of Simpsons.
There's a lot of Simpsons.
Like I watched every episode last year. I can't remember everything that happened across the 350 episodes or whatever I watched.
I think people.
No, it's more than that. It's like 700 episodes.
I think people only make references to the first 11 or 12 seasons. Whenever the drop off was.
Yeah, whenever Conan left.
And
he left way before then.
This last one is from Blake. He said, last week you read an email that mentioned someone changing their team name due to players' performance. That reminded me of my team name changing due to injury. Since I drafted Aaron Judge, I set my team name as Courts in Session. Once he hit the IL, I changed it to Courts in Recess. Once he's back, I'll go back to Courts in Session.
I like that one. That's good.
All right, we're going to wrap there. For Scott and Chris, I am Frank. Thanks as always for tuning in to Fantasy Baseball today. Please make sure to follow and leave a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify. And we'll be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.